Okay, here we are again. Finish the main story today. And then move on to the post-game content. All one boss of it. The next one, so. There we go. I think we're just about as prepared as we possibly can be, other than me having to put my wrist strap on. But, yeah, I mean, classes are in good shape, everything's good. I mean, there's other classes we could have used at this point. I can talk about that when we boot the game up, though. Alternatives to the classes that I have, because the ones I have are not the be-all end-all. They just happen to be the meme that I'm working with, so. It's the meme that keeps on a-giving. There we go. Excuse me. Let's see who's here. Chris is here. Eggy Egg is here. Hello to both of you. Welcome. Welcome back. Now, beep beep, we're flying here. I'm walking over here. It's an interesting choice of words you've got there, Eggy Egg. Let's all remember that for later. It may have connotations to it that may come into play later on in this stream. I don't think Eggy Egg was referring to the clouds above the floating continent when they were talking about that one. So, hello everybody. My name is Markiplier, and welcome back to the final episode of Final Fantasy III. Today I don't actually know what Markiplier sounds like. I think I've watched like 2 or 3 of his videos total ever in my lifetime, so I don't actually know if that was a good impression or not. Probably not, but Markiplier is the first video on your recommended, by the way. It's really interesting that he's still going as strong as he is, honestly. Like, a lot of the guys that started out around the same time as him at this point are either wholly burnt out, have moved on to doing other things with their lives, or they're in the worst case scenario for internet entertainers, which is that the only people left to watch them on the regular, their fan base, quote unquote, are people who literally want to watch them suffer, and they throw money at them to watch them suffer on the internet for entertainment. And that, to me, is a fate worse than death, but if they have to pay the bills and it's all they want to do, well, sucks that has to happen, but that's what they think is best. Either way, like I said, it's surprising that Markiplier is still going as strong as he is, given what's happened to so many others in his cohort. I feel some minor amount of kinship because I'm still doing this, although I did not see nearly as much fame, obviously. But I've been doing this stuff on and off for years and years at this point, so. Actually, I think my channel started before his. It was definitely... His didn't become popular until after I got my start, that's for sure. Because his became popular when horror games took off in, I think, 2012. And that was just like 2 years after I started my stuff up. It's just really interesting, like the anthropology of all of this to me, but I don't know. I'd have to really... I wouldn't be able to write a video essay on the anthropology of it. I just think it's interesting, so... Frankly, Mark has a natural charisma. Yeah, and that's probably what's helped sustain the channel for as long as it did. When you have that sort of charisma to just come back and talk to people without losing a step over so many years, then yeah, it's pretty easy, I think, to stay in that thought process. So, all right, let's boot up. Let's see what we can do with the team that we have. I did, in fact, remember to save the game before the Ancient's Maze, so that way we could check on the Mognet letters that I have not read yet. They are all up and ready to go, except for I think I need to put Eric in the front slot to get the last one from King Alice, but excuse me, other than that, excuse me again, we are in good shape for the finale. Hang on a second. As my throat rudely interrupts me right when I'm ready to start. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the finale of Final Fantasy III, the Stream Edition. Last time we began our exploration of the Ancient's Maze in the Crystal Tower by looting the whole Ancient's Maze, finding a King Behemoth twice, and stealing Protect Rings off of both of them. Going in and raiding the first floor of the Crystal Tower, showing off a grinding method while we're in the process, and then raiding all of Eureka. So we've done quite a lot, but there is still more to do because the Crystal Tower is a long dungeon. I don't think it's quite as long as Pandemonium was. No, it's not. It's got 9 floors versus Pandemonium's 10, and you have to keep going in and out in Pandemonium. But, well, that's neither here nor there. We already covered Pandemonium on a previous stream, so. Anyway, the Mognet letters. These are not the Mognet letters. We have, I think I counted, and it's like 19 treasure chests left to open, and we have 94% chest rating, so I think that should be about where everybody else should be if you've been following along at this point. Ideally, we'll end up at 100% treasure rating by the end of this, because I ended up at 100% treasure rating when I when I did this off-screen to get the clear save file to work on the super boss, so hopefully we didn't miss anything. But let's look at the 4 old men's final letter first, and then we'll look at Alice's after that. True heroes. Heroes are judged by the company they keep. Treat your friends well, and you will be even closer to becoming true champions. From the 4 old men. Thanks for the vote of confidence, I guess. Alright, let's get Eric out in front of the party so Alice's other letter procs as soon as we read this one, because I think his 3rd and 4th are both here right now. So, let's take a look. Yeah, so his 3rd one, the Nautilus. How has the Nautilus served you so far? The engineers assure me that it should not budge an inch even when flying against the strongest gale. From Alice. We're a little late to the party on that one. We've already flown through the strongest gale while we were at it. But this is the important one right here. Ceronian legend. There is an old legend in Ceronia that speaks of a star falling into the sea, creating a great wave that swallowed the evils of the world. From Alice. If you don't get that letter, you can't spawn the bonus dungeon where the super boss is found. And now that we got that letter, well, I don't know if you can actually get any more information out of Alice if you go back and visit. I suppose we could always check that next time if I remember to do that. But I do know where the bonus dungeon is, and you can just fly right there at this point, so you know how that goes. But well, I'll show where it is, basically, when we start up next time. Yeah. So anyway, I think we are ready to go. We got everything set up last time. We got all our protect rings on. We stole them all on screen. We had an unfortunate accident with the 2nd protect ring I had to steal, where everyone except for Refia died in the battle, while I was desperately trying to Phoenix down everyone back to life. So we lost about 5 Phoenix downs, and Refia is like 15,000 experience points ahead. But you know, it's fine. It'll all be fine. Refia will just level up a little bit faster than everybody else, which is not a big deal. So sad to say, but you think after this you're going to ditch YouTube outside of translating a few playlists? Figure the current situation is as good a time as any to reduce the Steam backlog. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it'll give you a chance to kind of like, I'm trying to think about like does it have to do with the what's the thing that I saw a video about it in my recommended feed. I didn't look at it, but there's something that YouTube changed that I don't remember what they're changing, but there's some change that's going on that has a lot of people up in arms about it. I haven't really looked into it, so I don't really know what to think about it, but yeah, hey, there you go, you know. As someone who's working on their backlog at the moment, I can understand the need to reduce the backlog as well, so I'm totally there with you, Chris. Hey Marie, how you doing? Welcome back. You were literally just watching the last FOD. Your timing was good, because this is the next one. Alright, so we already looted the whole Ancient's Maze, so since we have everything and we're all ahead full, let's just plow right through here real quick, run past everything. Well, not literally, because it's still... There is still a chance for Flea to fail, even if you have a Thief at job level 99, as it turns out. I've tried it, and it's like still about 50-50 whether I can run or not from things. So, since that's the case, we'll just fight our way through if we need to. And then we'll be back to the Crystal Tower to continue our adventures, because we've looted everything on the first floor, but there are multiple floors, so you know, we'll just see what we can do about that. Yeah, pretty sure your attachment to Minecraft and the like would get you cooked. Oh boy. I don't, I'm guessing, like, it has to do with some of the changes that YouTube has made that would cause that, but... Probably they would mark a lot of those Minecraft videos as for kids if they did do that, but... I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the situation, so I'd have to look into it, but, you know. Just imagine Robin Hood sprinting to the top of the Crystal Tower to steal all of the wealth inside to give to the poor when you see Lunith running in here. Love your brain sometimes. I mean, he gives off that vibe, honestly. He's got that sort of appeal to him when you think about the fact that he's got the Robin Hood uniform, he's got, you know, the bow and arrows to do that stuff, and he's ready to pillage because we want 100% treasure rating. So, hang on, I gotta scratch my back. Hey, Unei's clone, can you get that spot? It's right in the middle of my back. I'm pointing right to it. Come on, you know you want it. I'll even provoke you into doing it. Go on. I get the feeling she's not going to scratch my back. Fine then, I won't scratch yours either. I'll just shoot you in the face. AI misjudgment is the big one since it can lock accounts automatically. Yeah, that could be a bit of a problem. Yeah, I could definitely see that being a bit of an issue. I'm just trying to think if there's any games that I'm planning on playing where that could become something that would be worth me thinking about. I do have, at one point, I would like to play the best educational game of all time, but that could be considered marked for kids, but the game is so old that I'm not even sure if an AI would recognize it as a game for kids. I don't know. I guess we'd have to see. Robin Hood on his way to spank that class. Oh, there's the wording again. But we already know there's been certain additions to certain enemies in this game thanks to the third dimension. Just, again, remember that for later. It may be something that shows up. Like Twitch and the I'm 12 thing? Yeah, I think... Oh, yeah, is that the I'm 12 and what is this? That thing that's going on? So... Honestly, more disappointed in AI as it is right now. Yeah, it's just really not up to snuff with, like, what it's they're what's the wording I'm looking for? They oversold it, and it's just underperforming. I think that's the phrase I'm looking for. I feel like I heard that from somebody somewhere. I don't think it was in reference to AI, but they oversold it, and it's underperforming from the expectations because they seemed to make it sound like it was going to be the next coming of Jesus of Nazareth, but I don't know about that one. The furries! We know they're here. They're in the game files. I think I need to sing Payon. Hang on. There we go. Can't get too lightheaded right away. I've got a whole tower to climb. The oxygen's going to be low up there already. I got to be careful with how overzealous I get. Yeah, not advanced enough for a lot of what it's being used to. Neurosama and her sister are probably the most advanced AI I've seen, and you do not want to see them get more advanced. Technology progresses. It's that singularity. Let's just hope that the singularity makes them smarter. I don't know. Kind of miss the old Fever Dream AI stuff, honestly. Better vibes overall. Well, it's always better, like, in the way that they sell it versus the way that it actually ends up being. Like, it's almost similar to horror, like the horror genre, because the horror genre, usually when you let your brain fill in the blanks with horror, it's scarier than it is when you actually know what the monster is. Once you know what the monster is, it's a lot harder to, like, be as scared by it, because you're scared, but you know what it is, you know what I mean? So, like, we actually talked about this a little bit in the class that I was tutoring, or being a mentor for in the summer academy there. So, we've talked about that just a little bit, so it's interesting that I can pull that back around, you know? Those two actually scare you. Neuro and Evil Neuro are actually really good AI. It's fun when AI makes you genuinely feel things. Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't think I know anything about Neuro or Evil Neuro. So, I would have to look into that one personally. Alright, back into the Crystal Tower. More raiding to do. This time we'll head through the door on the left instead of the door in the center. Well, the key's working. That's a good thing. Oh, they're AI trained on Twitch streamers? Okay, gotcha. I feel like I saw a video in my recommended feed that was something like that, except it was like a horror game where the horror villain is like there's stream chats basically flooding the screen that's allowing the horror villain to find you, I think. I don't remember much about it because it was like one thumbnail and I had to glean all of that from one thumbnail, but I saw something about that, so. Okay, so, mostly straight path. There's a few paths that are not quite straight and narrow like most of the game is. There's a few branches, and there's actually a couple of secret passages that are a little... They're not really secret because you need to take them in order to move on, but... Excuse me, they can be a little tricky to run through. See, you know what? Honestly, I think these things are kind of cute looking. It's just the name that throws me all the way off when it comes to them. Like, just... Who decided that was a good idea? Seriously. Everybody's at full HP. I'll just keep going. Tilder, their creator/father, forgot Evil's birthday and people genuinely felt awful for her since no one showed up outside of some of her stream chat. Well constructed, the banter between them and Vidal is legendary. Yes, it is. Oh, okay. Huh. So, like... Seems kind of weird that you'd forget the birthday of something that's supposed to be constructed and behave in a simulated way that's like a living organism, right? Like, I wonder if it was a stunt, like a PR stunt. I don't know. Just, it sounds like a PR stunt when I read what you're saying there, but I could be just reading into that too much, honestly. So, Vidal, their creator, genuinely has a father-daughter relationship with those two. Wow, it's impressive. Don't know how I would actually... I think I'd need to see it in order to know how to feel about that, honestly, but, Probably what's going to happen, because my phone can hear literally everything I'm saying, probably it'll show up in my recommended feed at some point where it's like, here's the, here's videos on this person that you were randomly chatting about in your Twitch chat, so... I'm sure I'll be accosted with that eventually. But we'll see. Alright, I think we need to go back down around there before we do that. Oh no, that's where we came from. Never mind. That's the wrong floor. Nope, got everything. Cool. Like I said, those two actually scare me. Big secret is that Neuro is not just one program. Oh, so it's like a collection of programs that all sort of interact with each other? Well, that's kind of neat, actually. Gives a little bit of, like... It's a neat programming exercise, anyway, if it's, like, multiple programs that can interact with one another, so... Damn, Lunith is never falling off. No, he is not. He doesn't even have the most powerful arrows equipped right now, but he does have the most powerful bow. 122 attack at base from the bow, and plus 10 strength and agility on it, so... You're correct, he's never falling off. It's why I can get away with being at the level that I'm at and still steamrolling through the Crystal Tower, because, the final boss of the Crystal Tower is like level 50, so we're right about on par with them, but the final boss of the video game is level 60, and that's a hell of a difficulty spike, but we will be able to beat it at right around level 53, so... Might even be 52, actually, because, not all of the team is 50 yet, so we'll see. I know Neuro and Evil are capable of playing Minecraft independent of outside inputs. They're impressive. That's pretty good, actually. Although I think they're starting to improve AI to the point where they can actually play video games without too much outside input. I feel like I saw a video of somebody, like, training an AI to beat Final Fantasy X, if I remember correctly, but I don't know if that had outside input. Or not, I don't know. Either way, like I said, it's still a neat programming exercise. So. Where the heck am I anyway? So we went to the right there. There was a secret passage. I didn't really mention it because it's kind of not a big deal. But we went to the right there because we went to the left. There is no secret passage to the left. What's going to happen basically is we're going to go around the bend on this floor and get to a staircase that'll take us down to the left side of the third floor. And then there will be another staircase that takes us up to the fourth and then the fifth floor from there. So, like, you'll see what I mean in just a minute. move around the whole thing, so. Neuro and Evil are going to be the basis of Skynet if they keep improving. Oh, man. The robotic overlords are ready to take over already. It was only a matter of time. Well, this is a dead end, so that means there must be some kind of secret passage around here somewhere. Here it is. Now, this one's a little tricky because they kind of just stick you in the dark with no real way of zooming the camera out to see where you're going. So you got to go all the way to the left, then all the way down until it stops, I think anyway. And also, you can get discombobulated just from the fact that you've got all these monsters that pop up and make it harder to figure out where the heck you're going, but, you know, it's fine. Oh, that was something I didn't really talk about, is the alternative classes that you might want to use here, but, yeah, okay, so there we go. You gotta go all the way down. Now, you see how I hit a wall there? Like that? I sort of, like, moved to the left. Now go all the way to the left. Now I hit a wall again because the camera stopped. Now go up, and then go to the left, and that's how you get to the other side of the floor. So, there you go. And I think... yeah. That's it for this floor. Who will get to be Skynet, Neuro or Evil? Which one is more destructive? Distracted by dogwood. Whoops. Just remind Eric to turn on tank stance. It should be an ingrained habit at this point. Yeah, he'll be okay. He's got provoke going. So, he can at least catch the attention of one enemy before Lunith has his burst of DPS. But we do have to be careful. If we don't get through this dungeon as quickly as possible, the mods will ban Lunith for using an LB2 on every single battle. So, so we got to get through this as soon as possible so I don't just get insta-banned, but it's fine. We'll be fine. We have enough DPS. I have faith. Oh, God. I forget if there's a... There is another elixir. Oh, good, I found Platinum. Fine, that's good, because this guy is actually fairly rare here. A gold or palette swap, but he's actually somewhat rare, and that helps because that means that we've got him in the bestiary now without having to come back. On the file where I had to practice for the super boss, I had to come back to the Crystal Tower and find him. Because he's only available on this floor and the previous floor, so... Excuse me, so that would mean the second and third floors of the tower. Any further and you won't be able to encounter that guy anymore. So. But I think we've gotten just about everything else. We got Azer, which is the Jinn palette swap. We got Gomori, which is the Medusa palette swap. We found Doga's clone, the Beating Heart. We found the Blux and the Muck-Mucks backwards. We found Platinum. I think that's everything for now, and the Shinobi. So... I think that's everything for now. On the later floors, there's, like, let's see, Dark General, Glaziolabalas, Thor, and then the 3 5% encounters that we don't need to worry about because they're somewhere else, but... Yeah, professional speedrunning. Ranged LB is able to hit multiple enemies too. This is an accurate joke, your favorite kind of joke. Oh, I love when I can build off of jokes from the chat. It's a lot of fun. That thing is rare. It kept showing up for you. I don't know. Maybe it is. I had a hard time finding it, but I guess maybe my source is wrong about it. I think it said it was like a 10% encounter rate or something, but I could be wrong. Nothing on this floor, it looks like, so. This is a message, professional speedrunning from the cops. I am speedrunning from the cops, apparently, at this point. The cops are all of the clones that Xande has made. They're the law enforcement in this place. Oh, there's the sergeant. Captain on deck, Dark General. It's fine. He'll go down just as easy as the rest of them do, so... Oh wow, Refia's got more HP than Lunith again. That's neat. Lunith ended up with the second most HP on the Super Boss file, but Eric was like 500 HP up on everybody, basically, as usual. And then Refia was just a little bit below Lunith, and then Angus was like 75 HP below her, so... Thought about not doing a minimum eye level, no echo run of Circus Tower. I thought about doing a minimum eye level, no echo run of Circus Tower, but the current story dungeon is murdering people who aren't decent despite being level 100. You have to scrape both DPSs off the floor, and the second boss 4 times each. That's rough. Wow. And that's like, because that's not like a leveling dungeon, that's like a post-story dungeon then if it's at level 100, right? So, wow. That's, I should be, I feel like I should be impressed, but I'd have to be impressed at how bad that is. Incidentally, there's nothing on the left side of this floor. Basically just go to the right, go through the little secret passage, and then go up the stairs once we get there, and we're golden goose. So. And you still did more damage to the boss than the both of them, and in this particular case you were playing as the healer, so that's sad, actually. So yeah, everything to the left of this is, well, there's nothing there, so. I'm being back attacked, so this guy can axe me in the face. Ow. Ow. I think in this case I'll just do a Paeon, and then if Angus gets a turn, I guess I'll cure. We'll get a full party refresh, so all of our MP will come back after we beat the next boss at the top of the tower, so I'm not really super concerned. And still, Lunith is KOing things in 2 barrages anyway, so not surprised in the slightest. Yeah, I guess I've been out of the game for long enough to have forgotten... God, how do I say this without making it sound like I'm saying how bad people are? I don't know. I've had some pretty bad roulettes in Final Fantasy XIV, so I definitely understand the feeling of, okay, like, seriously, guys, I'm scraping you off the floor again. Come on now, I'm running out of MP. Actually, you shouldn't really be running out of MP in those cases, because Lucid Dreaming... Is Lucid Dreaming still a 60-second cooldown? Because that's still really nice if it is, so... Just understand how you can get hit by the same insta-kill mechanic right after you get revived. Don't sugarcoat it. It's the truth, though. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't sugarcoat it then, should I? In that particular case. Yeah, had it on cooldown, friend. Yeah, so there you go. And that's good, because that means that you're using the tool the way that they want you to use it, which is using it on cooldown as needed when crazy situations like that happen. It's better than not pressing and being like, sorry guys, I can't revive you again, I'm out of MP. I mean, I might be vindictive enough to do that in certain circumstances, but like... that only gets us all killed, so it doesn't really help us. So, here's Lazialabalos. I don't know why this guy was relegated to, like, one of the bosses in the Crystal Tower raid. It seems weird because he's really not all that difficult in this particular iteration. I mean, I have, like, you know, I have a really busted party, so I don't think it's, like... I don't think I can suggest, like, he's not really all that difficult, but I really don't think he is. I think he basically just punches you, and that's it. Which, to be fair, is just about all he does in the raid, too. Unless they changed the raid since the last time I played the game, but... Because I know they were, like, making changes to a lot of the story content, but I don't know if they changed the raids at all. Ooh, we found a dragon! I should be more scared because it's a green dragon, and Dragon Quest's green dragons want you murdered, but this guy's not too bad. There's a 5% chance of encountering dragons on the last 3 floors of the tower, so like floor 5, floor 6, and floor 7. I think the yellow dragon is available on floor 5, and so then this guy's available on floor 6, and the red dragon, which is level 70, is available on floor 7. So, I don't think they have any particular elemental weaknesses. I'll just toss stuff at them, so... Don't be Pirate Software. Don't pull an I'm out of mana on people. Yeah, like I said, that would just get all of us killed, so it really... I mean, I could only be vindictive for a small moment, and then we'd all be dead and having to try the boss again, so, like, you know, it doesn't really work all that well. As needed isn't supposed to be constantly. Yeah, that's true, honestly. It's a very good point. Petty and vindictive enough to keep people on the floor because you think reviving them is a waste of time and MP. Not the pirate reference. The feeling of Kingler landing like 3 guillotines. If they have 3 Vuln stacks, I give up. Not Vuln stacks. Oh, the revive debuff where they're on Brink of Death. Yeah, I remember Brink of Death. God, that sucks. I've been on brink of death, but I was also bad at the video game at the time, so, you know. I'm flying, you fools! If I'm quite honest with all of you, I don't know who Pirate Software is. I'm sure there's some lore there that I'm missing, but I'm just voicing it because it sounds funny. So, Gandalf, actually. This was actually spoken by the White Wizard. This guy's got a bit of HP, huh? See, now that was with the Protect Ring. I don't want to think about what that would have been without the Protect Ring. That would have been a lot of damage. But I can cure that, so it's not really a big deal. There you go. I think each of the dragons have, like, probably this guy's got about, I'd say 80,000 HP. I think the red dragon is like 100,000, so. But he's dead now, so I guess it doesn't matter. Brink of death being followed up with another death kills you on the inside. 1.3k without the Protect Ring, maybe. Yeah, 1.2 to 1.3k without the Protect Ring. Yeah, probably. So, would have been very damaging, but yeah, that's another thing about the dragons is you can get elixirs as a fairly common drop from them, so. There's a Meat Canyon video about him being a crummy person. That should say just about everything. Okay, gotcha. It'll probably, like I said, my phone can hear everything I'm saying now, so it'll probably come up in my feed now that we've mentioned it, so. I mean, too much? I don't know. I think that's just about right, actually, in terms of the damage, because it reduces by 50%, so yeah, you'd go 50% up from 900, and that's 450 more, so yeah. Alright, anything else on this floor? Nope, 4 more chests on the next floor, and then that's it for the Crystal Tower, so. He did work at Blizzard, though. I don't know if that excuses any bad behavior that they could have, but I don't know. And then, or maybe that is the reason for the bad behavior, because I've heard that Blizzard's not really a great place to work. I don't know. Well, we're only halfway out of poison arrows, and this is Thor! He seems to be missing his hammer, but maybe Eric got his hammer instead, so. Either way, you can take care of him. These guys are also available after we beat the boss at the top of the tower as well, so if you miss them for your bestiary, don't worry about it. Also, the dragons, so the yellow dragon, green dragon, red dragon, they only have a 5% spawn rate on each of the top 3 floors here. So don't worry too much, though, if you don't find them, because you can also find them in the bonus dungeon where the super boss is, and they're the only encounters in the bonus dungeon, so then, yeah, you can just find them while you're there. And I'll show them off when we actually go fight the super boss, so don't worry about it. Excuse me. We're getting some extra crystal equipment, though, from this. That chest there is the most important one, because we will need 2 crystal shields for the super boss. It's not a joke. I need that much defense in order to even survive. So. This place scarred you so bad when you were younger. 5% rate, 3 effing red dragons in a row. Yeah, that's extremely unlucky. Yeah. Who do I use to revive Ingus here, who just got back, like, slapped the shit out of? I guess I can have Refia do it, but probably Lunith is gonna go first. This team is starting to fall apart just a little bit at the very end because of these back attacks, but hey, whatever. Crystal Power! Something like that. Well, Ingus, you don't get the experience for this because you decided to be not tanky enough to withstand 2 attacks. Sorry. So now he's even further behind. Again. Yay. Well, it's fine. Phoenix down to Go-Go. I'm getting back attacked a lot more in this iteration than I was when I went up here previously, but I don't know. I guess it's fine. Angus, are you sleeping on the job? What would the princess think of this? Why are their hands dragons, and why is only one of them dragon? Good question. Again, I'll chalk it up to the... Oh, I got my Phoenix down back. Nice. I'll chalk it up to this game's enemy design being really, really bizarre. I don't know. Is this another... Oh, for Christ's sakes. Alright, well, here we go again. Just get it over with. Okay. Thank you for spreading the damage out this time. That was much more gracious of you than the last Dark General that I had to murder. I guess I'll just Dream Harp. Oh, I didn't mention that about this. So one of the reasons why whatchamacallit, why using Ranger is really helpful for other melee classes is because of the way that arm strength interacts with bows. It also does the same thing with harps, where basically if you have a bow and arrow equipped, it gives you each weapon attack gives you arm strength for both arms at the same time, whereas with other weapons, if you only have a weapon and shield equipped, you only get arm strength for the arm that has the weapon equipped. But with bows and harps specifically, if you use them to physically attack, you get arm strength for both arms. So that's one of the reasons why Ranger is so good for endgame melee classes if you want to switch over to them, because then you can stick with Ranger for a while, get a whole bunch of arm strength, and then switch over to whatever other melee class you want to be in, and you'll have really high arm strength to fall back on to deal lots of damage with. So honestly, it's only at endgame that the MP level system stops sucking. Having 30+ uses of Cure is nice. And honestly, that's just on Scholar. If we were on White Mage right now, I'd probably have like 50 uses of just regular Cure, and we have a lot of elixirs in our bag right now, so we're not exactly hurting for MP if we need it, but I don't know. I've, for the most part, been mitigating the need for the MP system by just, you know, not doing it and just using Paeon liberally in each battle, but, you know, it all works, I guess. Let's see, you need Loki Harp, I think. That should be enough for the next area that we're going to. And Ingus is still level 50, but that's fine. I'm just gonna plow right through, even though he's at the point where he is, so. The wackiest bit is that they're actually well modeled and animated. It's just heckin' weird. Yeah, I mean, they definitely gave a crap about the way that the models looked in this game, that's for sure. Look, Amano's art is just kind of hard to parse on its own, much less translate to 3D. Yeah, and that's fair, too. Don't actually know who does enemy designs in the old Final Fantasies. It would have been Amano that did the enemy designs in the NES version. I don't know who did the 3D modeling in this game, but that should show up in the credits, so we'll see. Forget, was Leon the only left-handed party member in Final Fantasy II? I think Leela was as well. And then Scott was as well. I think that's it, though. Because Gordon was right-handed. Your three main party members are right-handed. Minwu was right-handed. Joseph was right-handed. Ricard was right-handed. Yeah, so it's just them. Leon, Layla, and Scott. So, and Scott wasn't even in the original version. He was, but he wasn't playable, so. Huh. Fancy statue. And there's more than one of them. There's quite a few around the whole room, as a matter of fact. And a mirror in the middle of the room. Crystal mirror. Interesting. Alright, so, once you step on top of this day with the crystal mirror in it, on it, it's the point of no return. After this point, you cannot leave this area until you beat the game, so make sure that you've gotten all the treasure that you want, make sure you have enough supplies. If you don't have enough supplies, it might be well worth your time to teleport out at this point, but, I mean, we have 25 elixirs, 32 Phoenix Downs, a lot of attack items, 7 turtle shells, and we have, like, we're gonna get a full party refresh after we fight the boss that's coming up in about 2 screens, so I'm not really super concerned. You have over 1 million gil and nothing to spend it on. Yes, and like I said, that's the exact opposite problem that most people have, because most people have no gil left at this point because they've spent it all on Shuriken. Oh, we won't have to worry about that where we're going, so. You don't get it sometimes? You saw this Art of Squall and Renoa dancing, and you were like, this is 2 Pharises and a partridge in a pear tree. You know, honestly, yeah, I could see it. Like, I'm thinking about the Final Fantasy VIII logo, and I could see the 2 Pharises, quite honestly. There's a little bit of androgyny going on there. That's fine. Huh. Our reflections aren't showing up. Are we... Oh, I was gonna say vampires, but no, now they show up. Alright, well, at the risk of doing something terrible to myself, what's the Curse of the 5 Worms? It causes the danger music. Oh, okay, I guess we're all paralyzed with, you know, not fear necessarily, but just paralyzed by the curse. Oh, okay. well, I wasn't fearing, but hey, you know. I guess his soul lives on. As he said, yeah. Well, I don't know about everlasting. I feel like if you guys use up any more of your power, it's not going to be so everlasting anymore. Oh, okay. Huh. I hope we found 5 people that have hearts of pure light while we were on the course of our journey here. Okay, don't hurry. It's not like we have to do this in the next hour or so. I can't move, honey. It's a cutscene. Cool your jets. Oh, this is literally the part you hated most about climbing the tower again after game over. Going through this long cutscene again with no way to skip it. Yeah. Yeah, it's not very much fun, honestly. Well, there's one person with pure light in their heart. We know this because all of the princesses are pure-hearted according to Kingdom Hearts. You didn't have to say anything else. He's the only one out of the 4 I care about, after all. What are her retainers going to say about her just disappearing into a fog? Also obligatory. Would you love me if I was cursed by a worm? Oh boy. Excuse me. Meanwhile, in Canaan... I'm trying to remember the order for the next dungeon. I think it's top left... top right, bottom left, bottom right, something like that. Don't have to ask me twice, I was just shooting a shit with my wife, but I can take a break from that. I love how nonchalant they're both about it. She's just like, yes, dear, go on another adventure, it's fine. Oh, Doga, I don't know if you're gonna find that guy. I hate to break it to you, he might be a part of the lava now. Wait, thought his body was gone, but his soul was everlasting. Ah, don't worry about it. Her retainers won't notice she's gone. Yeah, his body was apparently gone, but I guess he can manifest it or something? I don't know. Hey, Brawnstorm, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Tried beating the final dungeon in the Pixel Remaster in the way it was originally designed, as in no autosave and no encounter toggle. It was a miserable experience. Yeah, I can imagine it was. It was probably exactly that miserable for everybody on the NES version. Let's do it in this version, too! The last dungeon was an experience. Yes, it was. No, actually, Desh is fine. See, there he is. So this is, I think, the first example of a Disney death in the entire Final Fantasy series, because originally this game came out in 1990, and they hadn't done this before. If you died in other Final Fantasies, you were actually dead before this, but apparently not now. It took me like 30 hours to repair the reactor, 25 hours. But I was very close to failing, apparently. Even the fit's okay? Yeah, those that ancient clothing is really fireproof, apparently. You're supposed to be dead! Desh was having a furnace sauna, yeah, something like that. Very, very warm in there. At least it wasn't dark. Meanwhile, in Saronia... Okay, I guess we could have seen this one coming. But what will his retainers say? They're in the same room as him, and he's going to be visited by spirits. Why couldn't he be like a lava elemental now, or a ghost? Well, they would have had to model a new model for him, and they may not have had the cartridge space on the NES to do that, but it would have been cool. Sire, you can't just run off with random strange old men. This is how you got in trouble with Gigameth the first time. His retainer left. Now's my chance. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay, fair. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just... It's not an excuse. I think it would have been cool, but, you know. Apparently these guys have pure hearts as well. Alice's hair looks like a pile of snow. Maybe it is a pile of snow. He's just wearing it like a cap. Here's something I didn't think about until not too long ago. So, you remember how when we found Arya the first time on the destroyed ship, on the sunken ship, we referred to her the old guy that was taking care of her as Gramps. I think this is the same Gramps, or if it's not, then this must be just a separate Gramps, but they're using the same moniker. Is that coincidental or not? That's my question. Like, is this the same guy who was not frozen in time? And if that was the case, how did that work when he had 3 other friends who were identical to him that it would have been frozen in time? I don't know. I'm confused. Anyway, his moniker is Gramps, and he's the only one of the 4 old men who's going to run off to save the day, so... Wait, these goobers have hearts of pure light? Apparently. They're very jovial. Maybe that's where all the light comes from. Grow-ups, sorry. No, it's okay. It's all good. I don't mind saying weird words. Weird words come out of my mouth all the time. Oh, hey guys, what's up? I thought at least one of you was dead, but apparently not. Okay, cool. Well, we can try to do that. Oh good, we can move again. Very nice. Thanks for the help. I don't know how the heck you're gonna hold off the worms. Did Doga tell you how to do that? But we don't get to find out because into the mirror we go. Oh wow, it's as purple in here as the Saints HQ. The father of a father. Something like that. Okay, I did equip the Yoichi arrows and everybody else is good to go. Alright, let's step forward into the darkness. Kind of, it's still pretty light in here. Probably from the mirror. But who's waiting for us at the other side of the mirror? Ah, the man of the hour. The sorcerer Xande himself. In the flesh, I would imagine. Although his flesh looks a little zombified. Well, why would you want to do that? Doesn't that cause an imbalance that'll throw the whole world into chaos? Or was that your plan all along? How far the mighty have fallen. Doga and Unei would be disappointed. But they're not here to chastise you, so I'm going to have to take you in by force. Yeah, something tells me that's not going to happen. But it's not just because I'm going to kick your ass now. It's probably because you're not going to get that out of this, so... He seemed more intimidating in the 3D model outside of battle. Here he just, I don't know, looks a little off. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, we had to fight Xande himself now. He's level 50, about 50,000 HP. This shouldn't take too long. I'll throw Chocobo's Wraths at him too. Why the heck not? Adds belly chains. In the NES original, you like the detail where the heroes see an Onion Knight in the mirror, because it adds the fear and helplessness as they're paralyzed, about to be eaten by the worms. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good detail then, because it's like, here's how weak you were originally. It's like, wow. Lagurorum et Otanil. Did I say that right? Wait, only 50k? Bro, that's nothing. Die! Yeah, that is what you're going to do, actually. See? Told ya! What a joke. But wait, if he was a joke, then that means... Oh no. Well, at least we're all level 51 for whatever's coming up after the joke. What in the actual hell? This party is too strong, I told you. Scholar and Ranger go hard into this game. They can annihilate things, and people sleep on them like crazy. Stop sleeping on them. They're really good classes. Hyper offense is crazy in this game. Okay, what's a cloud of darkness exactly? I mean, I can guess, but... Well, there he goes. Maybe this vortex will tell me what a cloud of darkness is? Hello? Oh. What are you supposed to be? Oh. You look more like an aura of darkness than a cloud. Wait, you want to return everything to the void? Isn't that like the absence of light and dark? Well, yes, actually. They call themselves the Cloud of Darkness because the darkness is the imbalance at this point. If the balance was tipped towards light, they'd probably be the Cloud of Light instead. So. Well, I don't like that idea. That seems ominous. Alright, let's see you try then. Oh, that music is super good too. I love the little build-up that they've got going on here with the chiptunes too. That's great. Hang on. Is that 5? Yes, it is. Yeah, go listen to this off the stream. It's called The Last Battle 3 in the OST, if I remember correctly, because The Last Battle 1 and 2 are the build-up for the actual boss fight, but this is really good. So, actually scared. That shouldn't be possible. Honey, go to bed. We gotta have an adult discussion with your boss, something like that. Eggy Egg's back at it. Spankety, spankety, spankety. Never played the 3D version, but man, there seems to be tons of busted strategies. Yeah, things get pretty atrocious in the end game of this one, so... What? Isn't one of her skins in 12 a Cloud of Light concept? Probably. I could see it. In Duodecim, yeah. Most people remember Cloud of Darkness because of her Dissidia model. Yeah, and she's got the booba in that one, too. She's got the booba in this one as well, but I don't think she was this busty in the 2D version of the original, but they decided, hey, She-Hulk with tentacles, and I do mean tentacles, literally. Look, called Tentacle. There's 2 of them. That's just great. What is that design? What is that music? Oh, mama! This music takes you back, at least. Yeah, there you go. No yellow Cloud of Darkness. Not in this version. She-Hulk in this version. She is coming. I don't think we want her to, but, well, we can probably handle this. Let's just barrage the hell out of her. Eric, why don't you provoke? So the 2 tentacles, they work independently of her, so basically she gets 2 actions per turn, and each of the tentacles get 1. So it seems like she has 4 actions per turn. But if we have Lunith Barrage, we should be able to take out the tentacles without too much trouble. It'll probably take a few turns, but Eric can keep her busy while we do that. Since she's, like, got her own boss music, I'm gonna actually take it seriously and sing Madura and then Apollo. And then, you know what? I'm just gonna try out some elemental damage. Why the heck not? See how it works on her. Yeah, they might as well take full advantage of the medium, I guess. Something like that. Thrash about at her. That's what we'll do. Alright, Lunith, give it to her! Oh. Well, one of the tentacles took damage, but she sure didn't. Oh, that's not good. I was gonna say, are you giving haste to She-Hulk? Because that would be very bad, actually. Yeah, this is why you want to have the Protect Rings, because one of the tentacles uses the lightning attack. Particle Beam? Oh, God! At least take me out to dinner first! I just met you and you already want to go to home plate? Good lord, lady! What the hell? Holy cannoli is right. Final Flash indeed. And it's just Flare Wave! Flare Wave! Yeah, so in the NES and Pixel Remaster versions of this fight, the final boss literally spams a move called Flare Wave that basically does exactly what Particle Beam just did to me. It's not good. In this version of the game, she has more attacks than just Flare Wave, though, so there's actual strategy involved other than just healing. You say that, Dash. You weren't the one that just got blasted by a satellite laser. I mean, why don't you guys heal me? A couple of you... do you have Cura, Alice? I forget. No, you have Arrow and Confuse. Never mind. I don't think any of you... Maybe Sid has Cure, but I don't think that's going to help. So... And we died. Now, did I train you kids to sleep on the job? I don't think so. Yeah, I cast F you instead. Well, that's probably not going to be good for their everlasting capacity as souls, but hey, at least we didn't die. Phew. That was a little close, huh? So what happened to the cloud? Did she overclock her processors and have to retreat back into the vortex there? Yes, her particle beam, as it turns out, was way overtuned there. When you see it in the actual boss fight, it does not inflict that much damage, but it does inflict quite a lot, so we're gonna have to be prepared for that one the next time. You remember the first time you saw that particle beam, you dropped your effing DS? Yeah, I could imagine, honestly. It's like, I just went through this place in 2 hours. It took me 2 hours to get here, and you just 9999 me? Come on. Yeah, because he locked off 2 of the crystals, the crystal of water and the crystal of earth, when the world was frozen. It caused this vortex to appear, and, well, it's causing everything to be out of balance, so we're gonna have to fix that. Excuse me. Well, I mean, I'm glad that you guys were able to resurrect us, but that's probably why you're gonna have to join the Great Soul now. Thanks for everything, Doga and Unei. We'll make sure that we make it count. Yeah, magic friendship, snark, snark. Something like that. Hold the light of hope in your hearts, warriors. Because it will see you through to the end. Alright guys, teamwork makes the dream work, so let's make this work and make it count, shall we? But before we go, let's say goodbye to all of our friends. Yeah, well, we won't let you down. You know, no pressure, not like you just got out of a high-pressure reactor. I mean, I'm sure you guys will be fine. There's no encounters on this screen, so... We will try, Princess. But as I was saying before, this is the point of no return when you were walking up to the mirror, because you literally can't leave now. Like, there's no way through this mirror, so... You're stuck here till you beat the game now. Hope you've got enough supplies. Speaking of which, let me take off my Yoichi arrows before those run out. You know what? I'll go with the magic arrows, actually, because that... I mean, I don't think I'll need all the extra power, but I can always... They're the strongest ones I've got besides the Yoichi arrows, so, you know. Yeah, wait, I left the Yavanon and the Invincible. That's... Okay, Hurdy and Gurdy will take care of that for me. Hey, Pale God, welcome back. How you doing? How many hours am I already in at this point? So, stream-wise, an hour in, and we're ready to go into the final dungeon now. We just beat the boss right before the final dungeon. As far as the actual game goes, I think we're at about 31 hours in, although you could probably do this in about 20 if you're not, like, streaming it and just shooting the shit with people and chatting. Well, maybe 20 is a little bit too little. Like, a casual playthrough of this is probably about 24 hours, so... Hang on, I gotta turn the music up again. Now, listen, you can hate the dungeons. That's fine, and it's fair, because they don't have any save points in them. So you can definitely hate the dungeons. The music, if you hate the music, I don't know if we can be friends. Yeah, the music at the end of this game goes super hard, and really, it's really good, and I'm super glad that they did it, because it makes things, if it's not bearable, it makes it more bearable, basically, when it's like, oh, well, I still haven't saved, I'm living on a prayer here, but at least the music's good. So... 30 hours is not as long as you would have expected, but earlier games weren't as time-consuming, you suppose. Yeah, pretty much, honestly. I mean, you think about the fact this was originally an NES game. They couldn't really shove a 60-hour game onto an NES cartridge. You wouldn't have enough space for that, so... The problem is that the music triggers PTSD for you now. Yeah, I know. That's definitely a problem for sure, because, you know, it's like, I still haven't saved. Oh my god! Don't worry about it. We'll be okay. If you can give Realm Reborn any kind of credit, the rendition of the World of Darkness theme, the calm version, is beautiful. Genuinely impressed when that raid first came out. Man, you're a codger. No, I get it, because, again, I think one of the reasons why they had to go so hard with that raid's music is because of the fact that the DS version and the PSP version of this game had already come out when that raid was being planned, and... I mean, they had to do it because this already was really epic music, so they had to be like, well, I guess we got to do really well on this now, so... Alright, so anyway, we got new enemies here. Kage. I think there's... So we already saw Thor. So there's 7 new enemies in this area, although I think 4 of them are only available in that central portal that we ran past. If you go into the central portal there, you can fight the final boss right away if you want to, but she'll just slap the shit out of you with a particle beam again, and then you'll actually get a game over this time, and you'll lose all of your progress, so... The better strategy is to go to each of the 4 nodes with the other portals on the outskirts of the World of Darkness, because each of those will lead you to something that'll weaken her, so there you go. The tile set here slaps. Yeah, it's really cool. I like it. Yes, it does. Honestly, this place is really cool aesthetically. Yeah, all these, like, it's got these weird, almost like computer-looking blocks in them with all of the darkness going on. It's really cool, so... There's only 4 treasure chests in this area. Each of them contain a ribbon, but they also have a monster inside of them each time, so... And it's a clone of Xande, because as it turns out, Xande was not the one who was cloning Doga and Unei. The Cloud of Darkness was cloning every single one of them. Who's to say whether the Xande we fought was the real Xande or a clone? I mean, he had a different palette set, so probably he was the real one, but, you know. Actually, I don't know if I can kill this one in one barrage. Let's find out. Never mind, I can kill it in one barrage. He has like 40,000 HP, so... Oh, it's fine. We're good. A lot of money, though, and a lot of experience, which means that you'll be able to leave here with the experience after you're done, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, we'll give the extra ribbon to Ingus, it'll give him his last little upgrade, and... If it wasn't for the fact that I have to have either a ribbon or an Aegis shield on everybody, this would be like the endgame setup, except with the Yoichi arrows instead. But because of one of the attacks that the final boss can do, I'm going to need to equip a ribbon on Refia as well. So the Ballad Crown's going to have to sit in the box for a little bit, but it's okay. It's done its job already, and it will be equipped for the super boss fight, so that's not really a huge deal. So, gonna need a minute to call your mom, be right back. Sounds like a plan, Chris. You won't miss too much. We'll just go fight this boss while you're at it, so. Incidentally, not only are there 4 treasure chests, there are also 4 bosses to fight in the World of Darkness, and, well, like I said, as you beat each one of them, it will weaken the Cloud of Darkness, so. Let's get started, shall we? There's a crystal here. That's interesting. I guess it's the World of Darkness, whereas where we live is like the World of Light, quote-unquote, so I guess there would be crystals here, too. But apparently this crystal is just as trapped as the ones that were outside. Alright, let's see what's guarding this one. The 3-headed dog of hell, Cerberus. Yeah, literally. Cerberus is interesting because each head gets its own turn, so it has 3 turns instead of the typical 2 that most bosses do. But... I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal. I will sing Madura and Apollo so that we can take this fight seriously, but yeah, I don't think it'll be too difficult. We'll just toss a bunch of, well, do I want to toss those or do I want to... No, I'll toss an Arctic Wind, it's fine. So, 14 players who played Where's Echidna? She wasn't in the World of Darkness. Square Enix, don't worry, we have something special planned for her. Yeah, because she was in, what, Void Ark, if I remember correctly? I could be misremembering that, so... You missed that kind of stuff from 14, yeah, when they've got some secrets up their sleeves, so... Yeah, it's the AVC! Something like that. Target A, Target B, Target C? No, that's the Cerberus that's in Digital Devil Saga. So. But yeah, Cerberus has got some elemental attacks that'll probably hurt a little bit, but, it'll be okay. They can only cast one of those elemental attacks per turn, so I'm not super concerned about it, honestly. Sing Apollo to reduce the damage of that, and we'll use Akira because we'll also get a full party heal after we're done with this. So now Scholar can actually pretend to be a healer in this game like it is in 14. It's not a healer, it's a damage dealer in this game, but I can pretend. I also probably could have just gotten away with throwing a high potion instead, but you know, it's all good. But I don't want to fight the Digital Devil Saga Cerberus. I don't want to kill him. Don't do that to you, sorry. It's just, you know. I mean, they said it was a healer, and I mean, technically speaking, with alchemy, you know, because they can heal for a lot, and that was a very solid heal there. 1400's nothing to sneeze at. But like, I don't think that's their main function in this game. So, I guess I'll toss the Chocobo's Wrath. Why not? I think we only need like 3 or 4 for later, so 7 now is enough to be able to throw a few more. I should try to use the Lilith's Kisses as well before I leave here. So, but this Loki Harp should, yeah, put you away pretty quickly. Literally telling the truth that people don't see in 14's Scholar, and it's too real and funny. I mean, just because you're labeled a healer doesn't mean that you can't load the gun. I'm a healer, but... Oh, hey. Who were you supposed to be? Oh, okay. Well, nice to meet you. I guess you're our counterpart in this world, huh? One of the Warriors of the Dark. Alright, cool. Well, the more the merrier, I guess. You gonna join as a 5th party member, or...? No, they each give us a little bit of lore about how light and darkness interact with each other in this world, so... But yeah, this is how the Void came into being. If light and darkness... Excuse me, they're normally separate worlds, but if the worlds interact with one another, they cancel each other out and they create this nothingness called the Void. And that nothingness is what the Cloud of Darkness is made from. Apparently everything started in the Void and everything will end there, but... Yeah, I was going to say, we still have the light of hope in our hearts, so that means that the Void can't suppress us until it suppresses all that hope. Yeah! That's a good heroic speech. Unfortunately, there is not a quick teleporter in this room to get you back to the home area of the World of Darkness, so you get to walk all the way back out. Isn't that fun? It's really not that long of a walk, so it's not a huge deal. You miss your poisons, but Square Enix grew a conscience and gave us a Geneva Convention in Stormblood. Miss having Bio, Miasma 2 for Trash, and Shadow Flare. Yeah, God, I remember. Was I there when Scholar still had Shadow Flare? I don't remember. I was there for Miasma 2, though, and I do miss that. But, they took it away. Oh, you're one of the rarer monsters around here, actually. Jormungand. The goofy Oceanus palette swap. Stick the magic arrows back on. I'm going to need the OEGs for later, so might as well do that. I was there when they had Shadow Flare. Took all of your toys. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't remember using it very much, but that might have just been me misremembering. I do remember using Shadow Flare when it was on Summoner. I just couldn't remember if Scholar still had it as well. Or if they had only put it on Summoner at that point. Although probably, I think when they took it away, they just took it away for all of the classes, so... It was a fun ability. I don't remember exactly how much HP each of the enemies have in here, but considering Lunith has to 4-shot most of them with his magic arrows, they've probably got, like... I mean, the Kages and their like probably have about 12 to 13,000, but that Jormungand probably has above 20,000 at least, if not a little more. Zan's clone is up closer to like 40,000 himself, so yeah, that was why I was like, I don't know if I'll finish this guy off in one round, but I definitely did. So. Get why they took out most of the dots in 14. Fight design was awful when the devs had to actually design around perpetual dot uptime, but why? I mean, honestly, I thought the dots were fun. Like, I understand it's probably a designing nightmare, but like, you're just making things do that much damage flat out now, whereas they would have done it over time otherwise, so, I don't know. I'm not a game designer, so I couldn't say whether or not that was a thought process there. Okay, so that was actually the Dark Crystal of Wind, and I'm going to try to go in order here. The next one that we got in the World of Light was the Crystal of Fire, so that's over here, if I remember correctly. Okay, well, there's another new enemy. I think this is Shadow Masters. Yep, Shadow Masters. Kunoichi palette swap, so... But we can handle this one. So we found Kage, we found Jormungand, we found the Shadow Masters. Thors are available to fight in here as well if you didn't find them before. I think there's one other enemy that we can find inside of the portals on the sides here. But we'll have to see in a little bit when we go into the portals, so... Well, we're going to get to level 52 out of all of this, so Refi is gaining her level. We'll also never get why they gave guaranteed direct crits on Pictomancer's hammer combo. Like, that was a mistake. And I'm not sure how much of it they can take back now, considering people will probably riot, because, like, you just nerfed the new job. Like, they'll probably just design it differently in the next expansion, and that'll be how they nerf it, quote-unquote. Because then there'll be new things for people to see are overpowered, and then them nerf it the expansion after that, so... Also, not playtesting Viper on a controller was a mistake. Is it really bad on controller? Not good on your hands? Because that would suck. Oh, I did throw in my Arctic Winds. Alright, well, just in case the clone doesn't go down to this, let's just throw a bomb arm at him. You don't want to use up all of your elemental damage attack items, though, at this point. So if you've only got a few of them left, it might be better to, like, toss a Lilith's Kiss or toss a Chocobo's Wrath instead. Obviously, you don't want to use up too many of your Chocobo's Wraths either, but... Or if you just have not a lot of attack items left total, it may be better to just attack physically, because I don't imagine he has that much HP left at this point. Especially considering we're doing 4 9s or more in damage from the level 3 attacking items at this point, so... Oh, it was dropping inputs constantly back when Viper had a status condition to maintain, just like Reaper, because it was too fast. Oh, yeah, that's a big problem then. Oh boy. Yeah, they need to test that then. They need to make sure that, if they're going to have something like that, they need to make sure that the testing is, like, exhaustive, just in case something like that could happen. Alright, we don't need the ribbon for this next fight, but we do have enough ribbons and Aegis shields now to outfit the whole party with them. So Eric can keep his Aegis shield because the Crystal Helm gives him more physical defense, and eventually we'll give Refia the ribbon, but as you can see, despite it giving her status protection, it also has much less defense, and I think it has a little less magic defense as well, so it's not quite as good as it could be for her, but it's okay. Alright, I think that's everything except the Yoichi arrows. Stick those on now too. There we go. You'd think they would have playtested on controller too, but it seems like they didn't, which sucks, because that was the fun part of Viper, keeping up your status condition to do as much as possible. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is with a lot of, like, DPSs, but apparently... Oh, now you just hit buttons. They don't have anything to, like, maintain now. That's no good. Alright, I think I got everything, so let's just move along to the next boss fight, which is right here. And yeah, that's the next one is the Crystal of Fire, which is this one right here. So I guess I think I have to go southwest and then southeast, and that'll be the correct order. I think. Guess we'll see, won't we? Okay, let's see you actually... You know, I've been goading these people for so long, but I feel like with Provoke, it's just part of the plan. Just goad them into attacking. But yeah, so we already fought Cerberus. This is the Two-Headed Dragon. This guy literally only does physical attacks, but his physical attacks hit really, really hard. So I'm going to use one of my turtle shells on Eric, but since Provoke has 100% accuracy, we can basically just provoke him, sing Madura and Apollo, and then throw a turtle shell, and we can basically neuter this guy's damage. So. It wasn't just the status you maintain. Viper has 2 self buffs you maintain through your combos. Oh, okay, gotcha. So like you keep those up like the Jinpu and Shifu buffs that you get on Samurai, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah, so even just with Madura and the Turtle Shell, as you can see, his damage has been severely neutered. He would be doing about 600 damage with each of his physical attacks without any self-buffs. But, well, we've got that handled now, so I'm not even going to bother with Apollo. The only thing this thing has is physical attacks, so I'm just gonna let him whack me upside the head with his physical attacks, and, toss an Arctic Wind and a Heavenly Wrath, I guess. All of that and how fast Viper was causing people to be miserable. Yeah, I can imagine, especially like you said, if they're dropping inputs on controller, that would be very miserable. So. Yeah, no particular weaknesses on any of these bosses, except for the fourth one that we're going to fight. He's weak to wind, but I don't have any Raven's Yawn, so I'll probably just toss Chocobo's Wraths at him instead. They probably do more damage anyway, so... And again, pretend to be a healer real quick and just give Eric a quick cure. Probably doesn't need it, but hey, you know. This boss in the NES version is just Phoenix down and attack. Yeah, pretty much, because the thing about the NES version is... Viking can't use Provoke in that version, so you basically just get whacked upside the head really hard and there's nothing you can do about it. So you just have to attack it as hard as you can and hope for the best, but... Yeah, that would have been a very off-putting reason to not play the NES version of this, excuse me. You do get draw attacks, though, in so it's not the same as Provoke in the Pixel Remaster. Actually, draw attacks might be considered better, because it draws the attacks of all enemies on the field with Viking, so that's probably a little more helpful. But Provoke's been working out pretty nicely. Okay, you can join your friend then as well. Yeah, so I guess that balance happens in both worlds, huh? But yeah, so like I was kind of saying before, 2 of the crystals were sealed when Xande halted time, the crystals of water and earth. So yeah, so there was 4 crystals empowering the world of darkness, but only 2 empowering the world of light, and that shifted the balance, and when that happened, the void birthed the cloud of darkness. So... And the cloud itself was behind all of Xande's evil actions, probably possessed him or something like that, if I had to guess, and was also behind the earthquake and the trying to collapse the floating continent, so... Well, we'll see soon enough. I've got 2 crystals left to go save, and then that's it, so... We've already kind of seen what's around the crystals in these rooms, but... Yeah, like I said, no quick teleports, so we'll just walk back. I think if I remember right, though, the next couple of areas are pretty quick to get back from, whereas these are, like, longer, because you actually have to walk the whole way there, so... Alright, let me take the Yoichi arrows off, put the magic arrows back on. There we go. And then, well, we got a full party restore, so it should be fine. You got the Loki harp? No? Okay, I'll give it to you. There we go. Never understood this part where they just sealed in the crystals. That would be my expectation. Probably the cloud just, like, sealed them in there, or either that or they were, like, sleeping since the previous time that the crystals, like... Because they say they were around 1,000 years ago when the crystals, like the balance was tipped in the opposite direction, and they had to be the ones to save the world, so probably they were just sealed in, if I had to guess. So it might be similar to like Doga and Unei, where their spirits lived on in the crystal, and that's what is visiting us right now, not their physical bodies, but their spirits, their souls. So... Like how that little earthquake is a big concern for these characters, yeah. I mean, it would have been a problem because it would have drawn the floating continent all the way down into the world that was halted by the flow of time, and that would have completely tipped the balance in the favor of darkness and probably made the cloud of darkness even stronger. So that would have been a bit of a problem. Just a bit of an issue. Caused the end of the whole world, you know, just a bit of an issue. So. Alright, almost out. 2 more crystals left to find, and then we're done. Well, done-ish. We still have to go actually fight the boss, but, you know, that's fine. Also, how come all the Warriors of Darkness seem to be Dark Knights? How did they beat the game? Soul Eater! And Soul Eater! And Soul... Something like that, I would guess. They just spammed Soul Eater the whole time. When they lost enough HP, they just bought more high potions. I don't know. That's another one of those probably like things that they had to like suspend belief for in the NES version because they only had the one model for the Warriors of Darkness in the game's code. So. Alright, so this area has a bunch of alternate pathways to the right and to the left, as well as one in the center. There's only 2 of them that actually lead to anything important. This one, which leads to the next ribbon, and the one right next to it, which is the second from the left, and that one leads to the portal that we're seeing on screen there. So, They were doing a single job run of Final Fantasy III. That sounds awful. I've seen, I think the channel's called Zephyrost Gaming. He's beaten Final Fantasy III with a few of just single jobs at this point. Which ones has he done? I think White Mage, maybe Black Mage. I think the most recent one he did was Thief. He also did Scholars Only, so... That was part of... The Scholars Only run was a part of his, like, item experts throughout the series challenge, and that was actually a pretty interesting series, because then he did, like, Chemists Only, if I remember correctly, in Final Fantasy V. He did Alchemists in 10-2. He did Machinist, I think, in 12. So, although there's a few classes in 12 that could be considered, like, item experts, but, you know, all the ones that get all the potion and remedy lores, so... Shikari would fit the bill as well, but he saved Shikari for the thieves throughout the series runs that he did. So, but yeah, I've seen it. I've seen that sort of stuff done. I am using the magic arrows right now, right? Like, I don't think I'm gonna run out of Yoichi if I'm using them, but it would kind of be a bit of a waste. Yeah, I'm in the magic arrows. Good. We may get a little low on those by the time we're done in here, but I don't think it'll be that low. So. Here's another ribbon. So there's actually a total of 5 ribbons in the game. I don't know why you'd need 5, but because there's the one in Eureka and then the 4 outside. But I guess having the one before you even go here could be nice for, like, your White Mage or something. Alright, toss some lightning at him. You know about the Freelancers Only run? Yeah, that was, who's that? Nyarli that did that one, if I remember correctly? I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but... I looked at that one. I don't think I actually watched the whole thing. There was something about it that put me off pretty early on. I don't remember what it was, though. I'd have to, like, look back at it and see. Because, I mean, there is some cool stuff that you can do with Freelancers Only in this game, because, like, they've got... they can equip some pretty decent equipment in this game. Like, they have a pretty high equipment draw. They can equip almost all armor and a pretty decent chunk of weapons. If you make them equip the Ultima weapon and you get their level 99, their job level 99 piece of gear, the Celestial Gloves, they get plus, I think, 30? Is it plus 30 to all stats between Ultima weapon and Celestial Gloves? I feel like that's it, but... Hey, Chris, welcome back. That took longer than expected. Are you winning, son? Yeah, pretty much. We're getting ready to work on, let's see, you left before the first Dark Crystal boss. We're getting ready to work on the third one right now. So yeah, I guess you could consider that winning. We already fought Cerberus, and we fought the two-headed dragon. So now we're moving on to the next one. Seeing these guys get atomized is making you feel bad. Don't feel bad. They're clones. They don't have free will of their own at this point. We're doing them a favor. That sounds like Ward crime justification, actually. So, yeah, okay, that's good. Remember that by the end, Luneth was just 9,999ing everything with the Ultima sword? Why are they Metal Gear? Palette swaps of Shinobis. That might be why. They have they have black garbs on because they're dark ninjas or something. I don't know, something like that. I was gonna say, oh, here we go again, but they spread the damage out, thankfully. So I'm just gonna do this, and then if I get the Cura off, cool. If I don't, well, I'll heal this off later. So. Oh no, a back attack, my one weakness! Why am I still getting back attacked at this point in the game? Like, this doesn't happen in Final Fantasy V, what the hell? But yeah, I could definitely see Luneth doing 9,999ing in the Freelancers Only challenge, because the thing about Freelancers is even if you're using the class that's considered the weakest class in the game, other than Onion Knights before level 90, you still have arm strength. So you can still just fall back on that if things are getting rough, so... Because they're evil! Something like that, yeah. Oh, you've been blinded and, poisoned. Well, I guess I'll use a little of my level 3 magic there, too. There we go. Alright, cool. We're gonna go to full heal in just a minute anyway when we beat this next boss, so I'm not really super concerned about MP. Alright, before I step into the portal, Yoichi arrows again. How we doing level-wise? Okay, so we won't get a level, well, Refia will, but the rest of us won't get a level out of this next part. But we'll probably be about level 53 for the final boss, it looks like, so. The way you heal with Cure is just calling back to Final Fantasy II. I didn't get to do that in Final Fantasy II because I didn't want Cure's level to get too high, so I couldn't just, like, you know, go here, go to Cure, spam, spam, spam until it was done, you know what I mean? Because in 2, that's a good way to get your Cure spell to be way too expensive MP-wise. But, yeah. Blind and Poison sounds like that one weekend at Ranger Camp. Oh god. Lunith, do you have anything to say about that? Please don't make me go back. That place was dark. It's okay, Lunith. We'll get you therapy when we get out of here. I mean, you had it maxed for a reason. Yeah, because it's pretty easy to max it out if you just, like, heal spam after battles and stuff. But, yeah. I tried not to do that in the actual playthrough. The mosquitoes. Not the mosquitoes again. Can you imagine mosquito monsters in this game? Oh, God. With how everything else looks. The only worthy strategy in Final Fantasy II is just attack and berserk. Yeah, it's funny because the more things change, the more things stay the same, because that was also the strategy in Final Fantasy I. Haste, temper, saber, attack. So, but yeah, berserk is really powerful in 2. Although, I will say, black magic, when you're taking advantage of elemental weaknesses, can be pretty powerful. It's not the most powerful thing, but, you know, it does pretty well. These are wild jokes to make about a child. Yeah, we're going to some dark places here, apparently. Anyway, the boss of the area is Lilith. Or not Lilith, I'm looking at Lilith, because Lilith's kiss. The boss of this area is Echidna, who uses Drain, which is similar to Lilith's kisses. But Eric should be able to handle that with his Protect Ring and 91 magic defense and Provoke, so. Okay, Saber is busted, and the Giant's Gloves were a problem. Yes, that's why in this game you can only do that sort of thing if you can equip the item, so. That being said, red mages can equip the defenders. That means they can cast Protect on whoever they want if they decide they want to. Red mages in the 3D version are actually really good because they can get plus 25 to all oh, that's death. Okay, good. Thanks. Oh, did you miss your Provoke or something, Eric? Because she's not... Did I do something? No, she didn't... I couldn't have missed my Provoke. It has 100% accuracy at job level 99. That's weird. I don't know what that was all about, but whatever. It's fine. What does that Twizzler tongue do? You don't want to know. A discordant buzzing swarm of mosquitoes would be a terrifying boss. Yeah, it'd be like Death Flies from Digital Devil Saga all over again. Oh, we still have a Beelzebub fight to do. Eventually. We had to fight him in Final Fantasy II a few times, but there is another Beelzebub in the SMT series to fight. We're not quite there yet, but we will. Yeah, Death what? Death Flies, so. Oh, no, not Death Flies. Are you ignoring my Provokes or something like that, Echidna? Because I haven't been paying attention. I should have been paying attention to see if it's actually hitting. But I'm going to check and make sure it's hitting here, because I don't think she could avoid my Provokes. Think she is, so maybe she's the only boss. If that's the case, she's the only boss in the entire game who's immune to Provoke then. But, okay, whatever. And the stream's just crapping out a bit. Oh, that's not good. Let me see if I'm dropping frames. No, I'm not dropping frames, so... Trying to fix it. Sounds like a plan. We'll keep working on our end of things while you try to fix it. And she's dead. And I was checking to see if I was dropping frames, so I didn't get to see if my Provoke missed or not. Oh well, it's fine. But that would make her the only boss in the game who doesn't, who ignores Provoke. Even the super boss doesn't ignore Provoke. That's interesting. Oh well. Reduced to 480p should be okay. Well, hopefully it'll be okay for you there. None of the Provokes said miss, but she kept fighting not Eric. Oh, that's great. I don't know what that's all about. Hopefully that's not a harbinger of the things to come, but I guess it would make the final boss more interesting. But yeah, so Death Flies is a skill that does party-wide damage in Digital Devil Saga, and in one of the SMT games as well. Actually, I think it's also available in SMT 4 and 5, I want to say. But it does party-wide damage and has a chance of inflicting instant death, so... It's a pretty high chance, too, but you can put up Avoid Death Shield in Digital Devil Saga and don't have to worry about that, so... Oh, so it was still called the Cloud of Darkness, even though it was not darkness that was causing the problem? Yeah. Well, we won't let it, because we can't. Yeah, so we'll have to do that. So yeah, this was the Crystal of Water. Looks a little bit similar to the crystal from the other room, but, well, this is the actual Crystal of Water versus the Crystal of Wind, which was in the other room, so... Yeah, I couldn't have been missing my provokes. That was weird. I don't know what that's all about, but whatever, it's fine. The boss fight's over, so we can just move right along now. Alright, one more portal to go, and then after that we can head through to the center portal, which is where everything ends. Except the super boss. We still have to end the super boss, but we'll do that, you know, later. But these guys I can handle. So, just do a physical attack. It's not really going to do anything interesting here. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful about Angus's health, though, in the final boss fight, because if I don't... Actually, you know what? I don't think it's going to be a problem now that I think about it. I'm thinking about, like, the amount of damage that Particle Beam does, but if you put Protect up, you can actually reduce the damage that it deals, and we'll be singing Madura and Apollo, like, the whole fight anyway, so... Huh, Warriors of Darkness. No, it's been done, but it still feels pretty uncommon to have them not be evil. Yeah, in this particular universe, the light and the darkness are not evil, despite what Xande may have had you think from, like, the previous things that we've done. Light and darkness are not inherently evil. In this case, the void is the evil thing that's just always evil no matter what you do, so, yeah. Been staying up a bit later than normal because you want to see the ending. You have never seen the ending of this game. Well, it won't be much longer now. We should get it done before 9:30 Eastern time, so, well, actually it'll probably be right around 9:30 Eastern time when we start watching the credits, so. I will try to use your time and my time wisely, is what I'm saying. And actually, the walk over to the next boss is not very long, so shouldn't be a big deal. Can you imagine doing this in the NES version, though, where you cannot run? I don't think there's a run button, a sprint button in the NES version, so you're left with just manual walking. All the way through here, one tile at a time. Alright, last chest. So we should have 100% treasure rating now if we leave this area, which, like, once we beat the game, we can save, and when we save, we'll be outside of the World of Darkness, back by the, I think we spawn back by where the Invincible is, so... we should be able to see if we are at 100% treasure rating, but I guess we'll find out soon now. Mostly by virtue of being very rude and demanding everyone move out of the universe. Yeah, that's kind of the whole MO there. Not very nice of her. She really needs to get a new bag, like going and being in a fighting game or something instead. Maybe that'll make her feel less like destroying everything. I'm pretty sure that's not actually how that works. I'm pretty sure in Dissidia she wants to destroy the world more. But either way. Alright, so this is a big circle room, so we'll just go to the left first, and then we'll come back around to the right to finish it up. Because the teleporter is right in the center of the room. Well, north center, anyway. Alright, and equip the Yoichi arrows before we go in. Oops, that's sleep arrows. There we go. And we should have plenty in order to finish up the final boss fight. Oh, I didn't equip the Madura Harp either, but I can do that in the boss fight, so it's not a big deal. But please, not a 3v3 fighting game. Please, no. Is there a 3v3, like, Dissidia-like game? I don't think I remember that. Well, maybe you're just saying please no because you don't want it to ever exist, which, yeah, fair enough. Alright, Earth Crystal. So, we went in order of the ones that we got, so now we'll see if it works out this way. Oh, is Dissidia NT 3v3? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. The only Dissidia that I've ever, like, played a little bit of was the original one, and I've seen a little gameplay footage of Duodecim. I didn't see anything about NT, so... Anyway, here's the last of the bosses in this area. Ahriman. Ahriman? That guy. He casts a lot of, like, elemental attacks, but I think he can also cast like Quake and Meteor on you, if I remember correctly. I should probably actually sing Apollo first, so let me do that first. Since it's mostly elemental damage we have to worry about. I'm gonna toss the Lilith's Kisses at him. Just to see if I can get them out of the way now before we go all the way to the cloud. Fought this thing first, it's why you went to get those ribbons. Yeah, because he can inflict some status effects on you, if I remember correctly. But since we have him provoked, that shouldn't be a huge problem. Poke his eyes out, Lunith. Well, his singular eye, actually. Don't remember who, but someone inflicted Petrify. Honestly, it was probably Echidna, that little goober. Ooh, that was 7,000 damage. Oh yeah, I forgot, he can also heal himself, but he only heals for about 5,000, so that's not really a big deal. And it wastes his only elemental attack on the turn. Oh good, you're also ignoring Provoke. I don't know why that would be the case. It shouldn't be the case. I'm very confused now, because that's not how this is supposed to work. Again, it'll make the final boss more interesting, but I can't, like, save and reload to fix the glitch, because, well, if it's a glitch, because, well, you know, the game won't let me save between here and the final boss fight, but... How many times do you usually cast Revive in your Alliance thanks to this thing? 1 to 3 times. People finally get it. It only took a decade for them to get it. Oh, that's not good. Have to do all of that 1 to 3 times. Okay, well I can handle Blizzaga. And he targeted Eric that time, so I don't know what that's all about. Okay. Now I'm really confused. Like, did he not target Eric because, like, of the fact that he Curaged himself and that broke the Provoke? That's weird. I don't think well, and that wouldn't really be the case for something like Echidna either. But, yeah, Provoke Machine broke. How fix? You know what I'll probably do is I'll switch Eric to Thief and then switch him back to Viking after this and see if that makes a difference in terms of fixing it, quote-unquote. Because I really don't want that to be the case in the Cloud of Darkness, because she hits really hard. But, I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out. Like, Lunith would take massive damage from the Cloud if Provoke didn't work on her, but... I don't know. Like I said, I guess we'll figure it out. Quick question. What is the most BS attack string you've ever had in a Final Fantasy boss? Most BS attack string. There was one time where the final boss of Final Fantasy VIII wiped my party on the second form. And it was because of the fact that... This isn't really an attack string, but it was because of the fact that I didn't have Shell on my party. Like, she used a blue magic skill, like the last one that you can get in the game. And she... basically, my party had like 5,000, 5,500 HP, something like that, and she inflicted like 7,100 damage to everyone in the party. I was like, it's probably okay. She's not a high enough level for me to die from this, and then she just destroyed me, and I had to redo the fight. So it's not really an attack string, but it didn't feel very good, and I was like, okay, fine, I guess I'll cast Shell at the beginning of this phase, whatever. It didn't really make a huge difference, because, I mean, I survived, obviously, to continue, but... Oh, is that how he turned off time? He just turned off the sun. Fair enough. Yeah, so he was possessed or controlled in some way by the cloud, so that's not great. Yeah, we don't want that. Sounds like a plan. Let's do it! Literally a demon, nothing but 6s from the Gil and from everything else, yeah. Well, we got 16,666 for the experience, at least, but yeah, same idea. Alright, I don't think we'll level up again before we finish the fight, but let me just switch Eric out of this. Thankfully, there's no job adjustment that'll be needed, because both jobs are 99, so... Yeah, blue magic has a tendency to be disastrous under the right circumstances, especially with level 5 death. Yeah, I've been burned a little bit by level 5 death, especially the first time I went through the Library of the Ancients. Everybody was level 15, and I was like, wait, why am I dead? It wasn't great. Alright, so let's re-equip you. Crystal Shield, Aegis Shield, Crystal Helm, Crystal Mail, Protect Ring. There we go. And there we go. Alright, well, like I said, don't know what happened in those fights where they just ignored Provoke. That hasn't happened before. But they shouldn't be ignoring Provoke, is the point. And again, hopefully that doesn't happen in the actual final boss fight. It won't happen in the super boss fight as far as I'm aware, because I literally have done a practice fight with that guy and he doesn't ignore Provoke, but... And I mean, honestly, it could just be a cruel joke on the part of the developers or something. Oh, there's the other guy that I can see in these areas. Actually, there's one more that I can see in these areas too, but we haven't seen her yet, so... But it could just be a cruel joke, and the developer's like, huh, you use Provoke? Well, how about Echidna and Ahriman just ignore that? How about that, huh? But I don't know. Blue Magic is literally the funniest thing ever since it was introduced. Yeah, it's really goofy. It's a little hard to come by sometimes because you have to, like, confuse or control enemies just to get it to work, but it can be a lot of fun in the right hands, and a lot of death in the wrong hands. Probably the most unfair attack string you've had was in Final Fantasy V Advanced. Super Boss Enwell used Maelstrom on your entire party, followed by Almagest. Oh my god, yeah, that's not very nice, yeah. That's a very... Because Maelstrom, for those who are unaware, it drops you to critical HP, and then Almagest is literally just a holy elemental FU to your entire party, basically, so... That's rough, buddy. Zuko, the Last Airbender. Yeah, it is rough, actually, because that's like... a party wipe with nothing that you can do about it, honestly. So. Alright, but anyway, we have gone to all 4 of the crystals now, so that should significantly weaken the Cloud of Darkness. Basically, if you tried to fight her without going to all 4 of the crystals and uniting with the Warriors of the Dark, she'd just 9,999 your entire party again, and then you would actually die for real, and be forced to redo the entire Crystal Tower, and the entire cutscene, and the entire World of Darkness, so that's not great. Sorry, you ditched again. Mother has gifted Chris snacks. No, that's okay, Chris. It's a good thing. Your mom's doing a good thing gifting you with snacks. I don't mind, you know. I don't mind anybody ditching for any reason, but that's a really good reason to ditch because it means you get snacks from your mom, so that's cool. It's all good. We've beaten all 4 of the bosses, so now we're moving from platform to platform on our way to the final teleporter over there. Although there are a bunch of monsters in this area, and actually there's the rarest one right there. They just introduced Echidna, and now they've given us a palette swap of Echidna. Hydra. Alright, fair enough, I guess. Just attack as much as we can. I think I'm gonna Chocobo's Wrath this one. We really only, like I said, need about 4 of those for the final boss fight. And we need about, I think, 3 or 4 attack items that are elemental. There's a reason for it, but what else is available in here? So we haven't seen Queen Scylla yet, a palette swap of the Scylla that we fought in Eureka. She's around here somewhere. Thors are available in this area. What else? We've already fought Kage, Shadowmaster, Garm, and Jormungand. And now Hydra. Thor we already fought in the Crystal Tower. So Queen Scylla and the twin... There's a twin dragon, which is a palette swap of the 2-headed dragon that's also available in here. I'll try to find the both of them, but if I don't, well, then I won't. But yeah, make sure you grab them before you leave, because I think you can come back here after you beat the game, but I'm not 100% sure about that, so probably well worth your efforts to look around and find these things. So there's Queen Scylla. So after this, I'll look for like 3 more fights and see if I can find the twin dragon. It's basically a blue 2-headed dragon, so if we can find it, that's cool. If we can't, well then we won't. I'm just gonna toss the bomb armor at her. We've got plenty of attack items at this point, so I'm not really super concerned. Not that I need to be anyway, because Luneth is he's just got the magic arrows, and all he has to do is lean back. So my jaw cracked a couple of times in the past 5 minutes. I wonder if those were audible on the microphone. It's really weird. I don't know what that's all about. I think the one thing you're misremembering about Final Fantasy III is this room here. Distinctly remember in the DS version having nothing but clouds in the background and eventually platforms would appear. Yeah, maybe they added the little, like, lines in this version. I don't remember from the DS version, but these lines may not have been there. So, Yeah, and there's a Path of Shimmering Stars when you're running, which it shows up in... Actually, the Path of Shimmering Stars shows up in the next room, now that I think about it, so maybe that's... They just, like, switched it in this version? I'm not sure. Love how in the Crystal Tower you fight Doga and Unei clones, and then immediately fight Xande's clone in chests, only to immediately fight clones of the Eureka and the Dark Crystal bosses. It's like, give me a break, Final Fantasy III. They're trying to cram all those palette swaps in right at the end, apparently, so... let's see. How close are we to a level here? Refia? Okay. I'll fight, like, 2 more enemies, because I don't want Refia to gain a level. I'd rather take on the final boss at 53, just for the challenge, you know? So... Well, that's a 3-headed dog, not a 2-headed dragon, but... I guess it's the same sort of color, kind of. I don't remember. I don't like remembering this place. Cowering in fear in a corner. You don't have to worry about it for too much longer. It's almost over. I have one more fight that I'm going to do, and if I don't find the twin dragon, then that'll be it. We'll just finish this place up, so... Just let the music wash over us while we contemplate our life up to this point and hunt for another palette swap. Okay, well, there's Thor again. Alright, well, like I said, the twin dragon is just a palette swap of the 2-headed dragon that we just fought not too long ago, so keep an eye out for that one. It's, as far as I'm aware, only available in this room. I don't think it's a particularly rare spawn, but I've already got it in the bestiary on the other file, so I'll just show it. What I'll do, basically, is when we... fight the super boss after we get all of the dragons in our bestiary. Like, I'll show each dragon in the actual area where we fight the super boss, and we'll fight the super boss. Once we get all 4 of them on screen, I'll just go back to look at the bestiary on the Invincible so we can see 100% of it, and I'll just go through all the enemies as we go. So, alright, but anyway, this is it, the final showdown. We are all ready to go, except for equipping our items here. So let's equip all of the important stuff, get the Yoichi arrows on, start with the Madura harp, and there we go, that should be everything. So here's our final setup for everybody. We got the Artemis Bow Yoichi arrows, got full, well, not full crystal equipment for Eric, but enough to give him good defenses, so yeah, therapy music, followed by Blood and Misery, something like that. Oh, I gotta give Refia a ribbon before I forget as well. Has everybody got a ribbon or an Aegis shield now? Yeah, because the final boss can use Bad Breath, which will inflict a myriad of status conditions on you, and if Refia was to get Bad Breath, it would be a bit of a problem, because there are no remedies in this game, and I can't cast Asuna at this level, because it's like level 7 for some reason in this game, but yeah, so at least I remember to do that. But yeah, everybody else should be all good to go. Yep, we are all good to go. Alright, let's do this. I'm coming for you now, Cloud of Darkness, and this time I will not get sent directly to home plate from the initial meeting. So here's the Starlight path that Marie was talking about. It might have been in the other room as well, or in the DS version, but in this version it's right here, so... And now I can turn off. I actually had maps of the Crystal Tower and the World of Darkness in the background on my phone, but I don't need them anymore, so... Imagine getting Necroned by a fatal status ailment after 3+ hours of the Crystal Tower. Yeah, that would be very not nice. The brownies are good. That's good, Chris. Glad to hear the brownies are good. I'd only suggest some popcorn, but I don't think this will take long enough to get through popcorn. I mean, I can get through a bag of popcorn pretty quickly because it's my weakness, but, you know. I mean, you said that last time, but we lived, so... And we have plenty of fight left in us, as long as we don't get 9,999 again, so... Well, actually, we planned for that. Because the Warriors of the Dark are here to help as well. So, do we get 8 party members for this? Are we going to get to switch between us and the Warriors of the Dark, or... guys, where are you going? Guys? Oh. Well, when they said they would help us by combining our powers, that is not what I expected them to do. But, okay, I guess they used their souls to weaken the Cloud, even more so. That actually, probably, that is how the Cloud was weakened, not by defeating the bosses, but by saving each of the Warriors of the Dark so they can do that. So we didn't really destroy the Dark Crystals, we just destroyed the bosses around the Dark Crystals, so... Well, we're the last bastion against you, so give it your best shot, but just so you know, Cloud of Darkness, I will also be giving it my best shot. And quite frankly, Luneth is a pretty good shot. Alright, back to this music again. So, things that we gleaned from the previous time we fought the boss. The Cloud of Darkness was immune to all damage in the last version, but now that she's been weakened, she's vulnerable to damage. But she has 2 tentacles flanking her, as you saw before. This tentacle always uses a lightning attack on its turn, unless it attacks physically. This one casts protective buffs on the party, unless it just attacks physically. I forget if it's this one that uses Bad Breath or this one, but the Cloud itself is vulnerable to all forms of damage now, but not weak to anything. This tentacle is immune to magic damage, but is vulnerable to physical attacks. This tentacle is immune to physical attacks, but is weak to all elemental damage. So that's why I wanted to keep all the Bomb Arms and the Arctic Winds and the Heavenly Wraths, because those actually inflict more damage than Chocobo's Wraths do to this guy. So the plan of action right now, basically, is have Luneth attack this tentacle until it falls over dead, have Eric keep the Cloud of Darkness busy, have Refia sing all of our buffs, basically, and then have Ingus toss battle items like the Arctic Winds and the Bomb Arms and Heavenly Wraths at this tentacle until it goes down. We'll heal as needed, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Lightning shouldn't be too hard to plan around. So, Refia is you back in the day, but the Void was sealed by the Dawn Warriors. Yeah, different game. Ooh, that's a good start. Critical right off the bat, Luneth. He's not here to play. The devs figured they should lay off the death count until the end. Yeah, I guess so. Because those were not Disney deaths. Those were actual deaths. So, oh, that did a lot of damage to Luneth. It might be better to put up a turtle shell now, actually. If he's going to take damage like that. I don't think that's going to help that guy, quite honestly. I'm pretty sure after that crit, he's going to go down after this turn. I think Madura should be enough just to keep the Cloud busy. So let's do the Dream Harp now. And then why don't you... well, I was going to put up a turtle shell for Luneth, but I think I'll just attack, honestly. We'll work on a turtle shell later. What I want to do, basically, is I want to take care of the 2 tentacles first. If you don't damage the Cloud's body itself, it won't use Particle Beam until it takes a certain amount of damage. So we can kind of just have it do physical attacks for a little while we take care of its flanks. And then once its flanks are done, we can buff up so we're ready for Particle Beam, and then we can take it on from there. So that's the plan. We'll see if it works out. But yeah, definitely want to get rid of that guy because he's being a pain in my nuts right now. Wow, that lightning did way less damage. Yeah, there's Bad Breath. So I guess the tentacle on our right, her left, is the one that does Bad Breath because lightning definitely comes from this tentacle here, so... Alright, let's go back to Madura. We'll do that up just so that Eric takes a little bit less damage, and then just keep throwing these items here. Are we good on HP for now? Yeah, we're good on HP for now. I can always cure in a little bit when it gets a little... when we get a little bit freer in terms of our time. Or just, you know, have Luneth throw a high potion at himself while Ingus takes care of the other tentacle. Speaking of which, that's 1 down. No more haste for you. I actually kind of want to see the other tentacle cast a buff on the Cloud itself, though, because then I'll actually have an offensive use for Study in this fight, but apparently that's not going to happen because that one's already going down, too. So, okay. Well, both of the tentacles are down, so now all she's got is her physical attacks for right now. She will start using Particle Beam soon, but we can actually plan around that by throwing turtle shells out with Luneth and then going from there. So let's start tossing them out. I want to get these on everybody before the end of this thing, like before I start actually attacking. So we'll do that, but we'll heal up first while we're at it, and we'll have Ingus help out with some more turtle shells. Let's stick this one on Eric. I'll just pay on for a couple of turns, and that should... get our HP to just about full. So, brownies and spinach artichoke dip with bread, good stuff. Chillin' now. There you go. I feel like that would be a weird combination of tastes, but I mean, I don't know. I haven't eaten that combination of tastes before, so I can't really judge. I've seen some weirder food combinations. But yeah, with the turtle shell up, her regular physicals are doing 0 to Eric, which is actually really funny because she's the final boss, so she should be doing more damage than that. But We have so much physical defense that's probably why. So, yeah, I'll sing the Dream Harp again. I don't think it's going to quite get Luneth all the way to full, but that's okay. Yeah, Luneth is 20 HP off being full, but that's close enough. So, once we get the turtle shells up on everybody, we'll start singing our combination of Madura and Apollo. And then, once we do that, we'll... I'll probably just have Angus, like, throw Chocobo's Wraths or heal as needed. It might be better to have him healing, but I think he may also just get a turn before the Cloud, which would be a little bit of a waste of a heal. But either way, we can barrage now, so let's do that. I should have kept the second Bacchus's Cider so that I can just, you know, use that for Luneth. But, yeah, you know, for now we're probably okay. So let's just toss out those Chocobo's Wraths and get some good damage off. We'll Apollo Harp next turn, and then that should mitigate some of the damage from Particle Beam. So, excuse me. Foxes might be a thing with you, but you have a goat's constitution. Stomach of iron, huh? That's good. I don't have that kind of constitution, so I'm a little envious, actually. Alright, well, she might actually use Particle Beam this turn, depending on how much damage we just did, so... We'll see. It will deal more than 0 damage, I guarantee you of that. With the turtle shells, it should be a little more survivable. Oh, that's a little more survivable, but not by much. She'll use it every turn, though, so we're going to have to be a little careful now. Let me think about this. How do I want to do this? Because Luneth won't survive one more of those. With Apollo plus a high potion, he should survive, though. Let's find out. All right, Angus, I'm going to need you to get your turn before she does this time. So, because everybody else should live one, although we're going to be a little on the back foot at that point, but we can probably make it work. I probably should have waited until I had Madura and Apollo up before I started doing that, but it's okay. Okay, he got his turn first. Good. We'll have to Cura plus Dream Harp this next turn, though, so, because the damage is about to be... Oh, never mind. She took it easy on me. Thanks! I don't know what that's all about, but okay, cool. Let's see. I'll just keep singing Madura Apollo, and we'll let Angus do the healing with Cura. It should be okay with this. It'll heal for about 700 on each party member, which is not enough to prevent that entire particle beam, but hey, it should be enough to keep us alive for long enough for Luneth to finish this up, so... She's level 60, by the way, so it's probably worth it to level up a little more before you do this, but we have so much damage, I'm not even worried about it. Okay, that's actually good that he got his turn before she did, because that should pad us out HP-wise a little bit, so that we can survive for a little longer, if need be, if she particle beams me again. Which she does. Pretty much once you damage her, like 25% of the way, she has a pretty high chance of using that every turn, but, we can handle it now. Alright, let me use the Dream Harp, actually, and then still Cura, because Luneth can do enough to keep us all in terms of our damage here. Yeah, basically, the fight gets easier and easier the closer you get to her level. By the time you get to her level, everybody's at about 3,000 HP, and you can survive that very easily, even on a crit. Which, Luneth actually, I think, got critted by the Particle Beam because he took 1,700 from the one turn. So. And that's it. GG, She-Hulk. Go back to the void where you belong. I don't know how the writers are going to write you out of the room this time, but quite frankly, considering how badly you blasted my party about an hour ago, it might be deserved. Anyway, almost 40,000 experience for beating that fight, because we beat it a little bit lower level than we should have been, so everybody will get a level out of this. 15 more to go before we're ready for the super boss. Anyway. And go ahead, there you go. Take a good hard look. The meme party has beaten the game. We've got a ranger, a Viking, a bard, and a scholar. You may see the bard and the Viking in other playthroughs, but the vast majority of the time, you won't see the ranger or the scholar. And we still made it work. In the beginning, there was the void. Then there was the Big Bang. We'll see Big Bang eventually in the series as well. Well, yeah, if they started from the void, I guess eventually they'll go back there, but before they go back there, there's something else that they need to do. They need to hold on to hope. That's a random number of EXP. Yeah, it gives like... Normally it gives 100,000 experience, so it divides it evenly 25,000, but you get a little bit of a bonus if you're lower level than, like, a low enough level to where you're quite a ways away from where the boss actually is, because she's level 60 and we're level 53 there, so... So you just saw level ups, you're like, oh, you get to save after the credits. Yes, you do, so... Lets you go fight the super boss with all the ribbons in your party, so... Find the hope in your hearts when it seems like everything is going to go to the void. So is it the darkness of hope in the world of darkness? Or how does that work exactly? Or is it light, the light of the darkness? I'm confused. The point of the matter is that hope is what's making the world actually, you know, not die. And apparently we've got a lot of hope, because here we are, having defeated the void itself, basically. Hey everybody, we saved the world! Yeah, well, couldn't have done it without you guys. You guys kept those dragons, those worms at bay, so... Excuse me. Yeah, in the beginning there was the void. Stop making me want to replay Final Fantasy V some more. I mean, it's the right time of year for it, right? 4-job Fiesta's still going on. So, although they make you log into your Google account now in order to even get the 4-job Fiesta to work, so I don't know how I feel about that. Ingus, I think you and the princess have got a bit of catching up to do. But before we do that, we have to drop everybody off back where they actually live, so come on everybody, let's get into the Invincible and head home. Kind of reminds me of the end of the first Dragon Warrior game, where you basically walk home from the final dungeon. I think they teleport you out of the final dungeon, and then you walk home, and you have to tell everybody that you defeated the evil sorcerer guy or whatever, the Dragon King, I think is the name of him. Never done a 4-job Fiesta because you just never cared. I think it's fun for kind of like restrictions a little bit, so... But I can understand why it wouldn't be for everybody, so... Hello, boys! I'm back! The ending is just a taxi ride. Yeah, I'm just turning into an Uber driver now that the world is safe. That's all I can do now that I mean, I've got all these airships. Might as well use them for something, right? Yeah, well, let's hope the world doesn't need saving again anytime soon, but... Alright, later, guys. Next stop on our whirlwind tour of the world. Yes, we have. So are you going to keep the Nautilus in Saronia, or how do we... Like, how is this going to work exactly? Like, do we just have the Invincible now, or what? You do kind of have 2 airships, and one of them has a small armory in it. Yeah, so we're just going to, you know, become... wandering warmongers now. Just go pick fights with random monsters that aren't in our bestiary from now on. It's not really off base considering what we're going to do in the bonus episode. Yeah, I guess, but again, we wouldn't have been able to do it if you didn't save us from the 5 worms, so... I guess we'll serve as a shining example. Gonna have to catch up. Mom needs help because she hurt herself. Oh, that's not good, Chris. Yeah, go take care of that first. That's more important. We'll let you know what happens when you get back. So, we're just gonna roll the credits pretty soon anyway, and I'll give my little monologue about the game. So, yeah, go take care of her. That's more important. Oh, okay, I guess we're gonna take the Nautilus. That seems weird. Isn't this supposed to be like the Saronian airship? Oh, whatever. Alright, Bronzestorm, take it easy. We'll see ya. We'll be fighting the bonus boss on Thursday. Oh, hey, that shadow in the water wasn't there before. Huh. That's actually where the bonus dungeon is that shadow. So if you don't know where it is, well, now you do. I gotta imagine. You did kind of just teleport off without really saying much to her about it. Got some unfinished business in Canaan, Dash? Well, you see, my destiny is apparently to be with Selena. He'll tell you when you're older, Luneth. You're already traumatized from a guy turning his heart inside out and watching Unei tear her skin off, so don't worry about it. Yeah, it is a nice way of letting you know there's more available to do, actually, because it's like, the shooting star thing may just seem random, the shooting star mail that you got from Alice, but now it's like, oh, that wasn't there before. Huh, maybe I should go check that out. And you'll have a reason to, because now you literally have a clear save with all these ribbons. So if you need to, you know, if you want to have something else to do, now you can go check it out. So I do like that they actually incorporated that into the fact that we, you know, go right past where they have it located. So that's a nice touch. Doesn't explain how we ended up on the northwest side of the floating continent when we entered from the east, but details, semantics. I was gonna say, well, it looks like your bows are here. They had to pad this out somehow, yeah, I guess so. Couldn't release a video game in 2006 without some bonus content, you know? How would they sell the strategy guides? I don't know, Selena. Forever's a long time. Okay, I was gonna say, Dash, are you sure you can keep that promise? It's gonna be a long time. We're in public, dear. You can't touch me there. Yeah, you don't say. What are we gonna do with you two? Dash, about that. Yeah, I think the monkey's paw has curled around you now, my friend. You're not going nowhere. Wah, wah. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to sample any of her cooking yet, so we'll have to come do that. See, we have to go see Taka so that I can show him that I have defter hands now, so I can become the goldsmith that I always wanted to be. If I had been, maybe I could have repaired that mithril ring way back at the beginning of the game, and none of us would have been here right now. Well, we probably would have anyway, but, you know. No, you just realized, 06 was the year that a game that really changed you came out. Thank you, Sting Entertainment. I'm trying to remember, because I remember you talked about Sting Entertainment. Was that when Yggdra Union came out, or am I thinking of something else? Well, back to the castle with the two of you? Nope, apparently not. Yeah, it was Yggdra Union. I guess I know that one from all the times you've talked about it, so. You know, you're a scholar at this point, Ingus, but apparently you need to become a scholar of the heart a little bit more, because you still can't see what she wants from you. We got a long way to go with this one. It's only fair that she goes to see her people, though. I mean, she is kind of one of the rulers of the whole valley, so. Yeah, at the tail end of the GBA's lifetime, yeah, pretty much. I think, when did the last GBA games come out? Like 2007, 2008, something like that? They probably came out after that, too, but those were, like, with the last, like, regular releases. Yeah, no, guys are pretty dense sometimes. I should know. Yeah, honestly, I can say that, yeah, fair. We can be pretty dense sometimes, so. I think everybody has their moments, but quite honestly, I think there's times where we can be pretty dense. We saved a world, all of us, together. Yes, you did, Eric. You fought by keeping all of the enemies from murdering the rest of our party. And we could not have done it without you, literally. You were the defensive wall that kept the party together. So. Yeah, it's all good. All in a day's work. Or a day and a few hours, considering it's about 31 hours when we clocked in finishing this one. Ma'am, I don't know about that one. You little harlot, get away from him! Oh boy. Like I said, no problem, citizens. What do you see? It's so bright! I hope this isn't the harbinger of the light being too bright, because we know how that ended in Final Fantasy XIV. Oh boy. No, it's just everything returning to balance now. So this is where the Dawn comes into play. But does that make us Dawn warriors now? No, not quite. There are other people later in the series that can handle that title. As for us, the clouds have parted, and a bright new day has dawned. And quite frankly, we're all here to see it, so hey, couldn't have asked for much better than that. So you're going to follow in the previous Warriors of Darkness shoes and seal yourselves in light crystals for whenever the cloud comes back. We got all the time in the world. These kids are like teenagers. They've got plenty of time before they have to worry about that happening. Let them have their fun. Let them live their lives. Let them become Uber drivers with their airships or some craziness like that. The crystals will be there when we get back. We know where to find them. And that's the game, everybody. Let's take a look at our cast members. Lunith, our level 54 Ranger. Eric, our level 54 Viking. Refia, our level 54 Bard. And Ingus, our level 54 Scholar, with Warrior, Thief, Black Mage, and White Mage backing us up. There's also Princess Sarah, Cid, Desh, who did not melt, Princess Arya, who did die, unfortunately. Now King Alice, the 4 old men who really like dabbing, Doga, and Unei, and of course the parrot, who was not harmed in the making of this film. And if you didn't get to see all of the different classes and all of the different finishing moves, those will all be shown off as part of the end credits. So that's kind of nice, because we definitely didn't touch stabs at all. But yeah, honestly, I enjoy Final Fantasy III. I don't think it's my favorite, not by a long shot. It's not even in the top 5, but probably between this one and, well, not the next one I'm planning on playing, but the one after that I'm planning on playing. I have a hard time picking between the two in terms of which ones I like better. There's certain things about it. I think the end game can get a little bit like... The enemies just get really beefy HP-wise, and so if you're not using a class that absolutely annihilates everything like Ranger does, it can be a little tricky to get through all those enemies in a reasonable period of time, but there's so many opportunities to overpower yourself in this game. I only just used one of them, really. You could have summoners that have really high job levels, and they do really, like, a huge amount of damage. Bards are really strong in this game. Black belts are really strong. Ninjas are really strong. It's always good having a good healer, so you have white mages or devouts to do that. Most classes in this game are pretty well balanced in terms of their strength in the end game. Red mages even get a little bit of strength because of all the extra stuff that they can equip, so... There's only a few classes that I don't think really work all that well in the end game. Geomancer, from my understanding, starts to fall off once you get the Earth Crystal in terms of its damage output, but I could be wrong about that, honestly. I think they just have low stats, and because their damage is based on their intellect and mind, and those stats are kind of low, it can cause that to be a little bit of a problem. But, I mean, overall, gameplay-wise, I enjoy it. I think that they could have done something a little bit different with the job levels to where you're not, like... You don't really have to grind them to job level 99, but the Earth Crystal jobs in particular are kind of egregious in terms of, like, you kind of basically have to stop all progress in the game just to start working on them, because they won't be effective in the final 4 dungeons if you don't do that. So, but otherwise, I mean, I think the gameplay is fun. It has a little bit of replayability because a lot of the classes have endgame abilities that they can do, especially if you manage to get them to job level 99. The music is pretty good. As a matter of fact, the music is great. I'll just say it that way. I'll say it plain. We've been turning the music up quite a bit in this playthrough. And, I mean, there isn't a whole lot of character development or story to go around, so it's a little bit of a downgrade from Final Fantasy II, but I think the gameplay is kind of the central focus, and you can tell that that was really the big thing that they were focusing on. So it doesn't really bother me too much that the story's kind of simple. I would appreciate if it was more complicated, but I'd rather they focus on making the gameplay good, you know? So... Really, gameplay is the main thing for me, followed by story, and then... Well, I don't know. Story and music are kind of equally important to me, so... I don't know. Alright, well, we can save our clear save data, and once we do that, we can just basically check and see if we got 100% treasure rating, but if we didn't, I do have 100% treasure rating on the actual super boss file, so... 54 Ranger, don't you mean your level 54 heavy machine gun? Yeah, I got a lot of Contra upgrades for that guy. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's go see if we got 100% treasure rating, and then after that, I think we will call it a day, because we have one more thing left to do. We've got the bonus dungeon to go do. We'll look at the bestiary once we're done with the bonus dungeon, and we should at that point, as a matter of fact, we will at that point have 100% bestiary. We should have 100% treasure rating. If we don't, I forget where I could have missed a chest, but there's one way to check that out now. Let's go see. We're at 95% on the monsters there. I did miss one in the World of Darkness on this file, so probably it won't ever be complete on this file, but yeah, there you go. 100% chests open, so we are done with that. We've opened all 375 chests in this video game. Apparently our max damage wasn't incredible, but they could have just not updated yet, because I do distinctly remember on the file where I did the practice for the super boss run, the max damage is quite a bit higher than even that amount there, so I don't know what that's all about, but either way. So basically, what do you need to know about the super boss fight? So Scholar is not really going to work for the super boss fight. We really do need, like, White Mage or Devout for that one, and thankfully, on the super boss file, White Mage is actually job level 99, so I don't have to worry about that too much. I can equip, instead of equipping the White Robe, I can equip the job-exclusive Angel Robe that you get as a reward for getting White Mage job level 99, but this is basically going to be the party of 4 that we use for the super boss fight right here. And if I am to give, let's see, and this is just at this level, this is not at, like, let me read Valid Crown as well. So this is at level 54 rather than at level 69, nice, which is where I stopped for the super boss fight. And Angus has, what are we working with MP-wise here? The main things you want to worry about basically for the super boss fight is you need to have the ability to cast Curaga and Curaja. If you can't cast both of those, you're really going to have a hard time keeping up with the damage. Unless you're like level 80 or above, at which point you can probably keep up with the damage pretty, not easily necessarily, but it's easier the further up you go. Honestly, if you're going to get all the way to level 80 though, like that's kind of just going to trivialize the fight, and I'd rather it be at least somewhat challenging. But yeah, as you can see, a level 54 White Mage has 57 level 1 MP, and we can cast 8 Curagas and 4 Curajas, which is pretty good. It's not quite enough for the super boss fight, which is why we had to level up some more, but really we just needed HP. I would recommend having over 4,000 HP on everybody at the absolute minimum before you fight the super boss. You can do it earlier than that. There is actually a video of somebody fighting the super boss on YouTube at level 55, but what they did with that one is they basically leveled up with the highest vitality jobs for the entire game in order to make sure they had a lot of HP. They have like, I want to say 3,100 or 3,200 HP on everybody in that file, and basically the second phase of the fight is pure RNG, because if the super boss gets a high roll on its second phase party party attack, you're screwed because it'll kill everyone in one hit. But for our purposes, I'm going to go back, or rather I already did because I did this off screen, go back to the Crystal Tower, go on the first floor, find those Blucks, have them summon the Muck-Mucks spelled backwards until we get to a high enough level to fight the super boss, and then just, you know, sort my items out a little bit, make sure I've got everything. Gonna need a few more turtle shells for that one. Probably gonna need about, let me think, 6 at absolute least. And we'll keep the one Bacchus' Cider because that'll come in handy for that. But then we'll come back for the super boss fight, and to complete our bestiary, excuse me, on a bonus episode of Final Fantasy III The Stream Edition, which will be happening on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. But overall, for this project thus far, I mean, I enjoy Final Fantasy III. Like I said, I don't think it's my favorite, but I've enjoyed the playthrough so far, and we've got one more thing left to do. So we will do that on Thursday. Thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you checking out the stream. And as I said, I'll see all of you on Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the bonus episode. And then we will move on to the next game that I'm planning on playing, which, if I'm quite honest with you, I still haven't finalized. I'm kind of trying to pick between like one of 3 different projects. So we'll see what that ends up being on Saturday, but for now, we'll come back to this on Thursday. Until then, everybody, take care, and have a good one. Chris, hope everything worked out with Mom. Hope she's okay. Because that's scary when that stuff happens.